When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind worked backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember, I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember. When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind worked backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember. When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind fill up my lungs. And if my mind worked backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you left my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember, I remember you, you left my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember.
G'day Roosters, how we going? Welcome to the last podcast for the year. Dusty Visor Mancave Sessions. Thanks for stopping in. See some of the regular crews here. It's been a hell of a ride in 2024. We factor in all sorts of things, cheese runs and some southern roads, a couple of trips we went south. And one thing I learned about this year is pay attention to the weather. And we always check it and hope for the best. But we got burned a couple of times. But I guess that's riding, isn't it, you know? So we did have some epic trips, though. And some, of course, detours and that caused by the weather. But we've packed a lot into this year as we could. A bit of a quiet time in the middle of the year. But anyway, we're looking back at the highs and the lows and what's to come in next year. So, yeah, it's been a good year. Been a great year, actually. Enjoyed riding with all my mates, most of my mates. I'll Stretch and Kim, all the regular crew. Sometimes catch up with some of the other guys. Yeah, it's been great. Anyway, before we dive into what's ahead, let's talk about KTM. KTM's had a few problems this year, as we know. They've got a parent company that owns them called Pierre Mobility. Now, these guys, they're going through a big financial shake-up, as we've talked about in the past. They're going to end 2024 with $3 billion. That's B with a B, billion dollar deficit. And so they've gone into administration, which basically means they're in the cart. That's a big load to carry, and but they're still pushing through with MotoGP. They're still on track for 2025. Lewis Hamilton offered to buy the MotoGP team. That fell over. I'm not sure who turned them down or whatever, but that fell over. So they're still on track to have a MotoGP team next year. Remember, what wins on Sunday sells on Monday. So at least they haven't cut out their MotoGP team. I'm not sure what's happened with Gas, which of course Gas is wholly owned by KTM. But I do know that MV Agusta, who they only acquired, KTM only acquired them March of this year. KTM are selling off MV Agusta. So, depends how desperate they are. It could be a good deal for somebody. Just imagine what the value of the company is just in spare parts alone. We all know they make beautiful high-end bikes. So, could be a good deal for somebody. Imagine if you got the whole of MV Agusta, like $5 million or something like that. Of course, everybody's waiting. I suggested it to somebody this morning and they didn't like it, but maybe the Chinese are going to pick it up. CF Moto Agusta. I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, things will become clearer next year, but they've got a lot of bikes to sell if they're going to make or recover 3 billion euros. So if you work out the numbers, that's a lot of bikes to sell. So anyway, they're in big trouble. We'll see what happens. Hopefully they go under, but fingers crossed. So lots of drama at KTM. Anyway, let's hope they have a good year in 2025. Right. What else been happening? Yeah. Let's switch gears. Look at our year. What's happened? That was anything but dull, and it was a great time that we had. Last weekend, we just finished our Christmas ride. Our end of year Christmas ride for Dusty Visor crew. The video went up last week about that. G'day, Stretch. I see Stretch is on. Q's on. How we all going? Good to see us. Last weekend's Christmas ride. We had quite a few turn up for that. It was a good turnout. Even had some guys coming out from Christchurch. Big shout out to Crazy Frog and Dad and all the rest of the guys from the Kinsman Motorcycle Club. They came down, and we had a faster group and a cruiser group. So I sent Jody out to lead the faster group because he knew which way we were going. Some secondary roads, all sealed of course, but secondary roads, some great riding roads. And I think they set off at a pretty brisk pace because by the time we pulled out of Girardin, I didn't see them until we had the stops. So, but I think all the boys enjoyed the brisk paced part of the group. And I would pick it up the rear with the cruisy ones, and that we had a good time too, just enjoying the scenery. So it was a good ride. The video, unfortunately, I don't get there's not a lot of video of other people riding. It's just pretty much my helmet cam with an empty road. Because all the guys that took off ahead of us were long gone by then. But anyway, it was a good turnout. You can see in some of the photos there. And of course the weather was sublime that day actually. So yeah, really good. What else? Burt Munro. Of course, we did the Burt Munro last year. Kicked off the year last year this year with the Burt Munro. We're doing it again this year. Our accommodation, our Burt Munro group, we're fully booked out. So if you were wanting to do it, you've missed out for this year. We're all booked out, but it should be a good crew going down. I think last count 1, 2, 4, 8, 12. I think we're at about 14 bikes in the crew. So here I go drinking another one of those transparent beers. Anyway, about 14 bikes in our crew going down, so that's good. So if you wanted to get into it, I think we've got a guy from Canada this year and an English guy. So if you're thinking about doing it next year with us, just flip me a message and I'll put you on the list for next year. That was a blast anyway, and I'm looking forward to again this year. Those southern roads, just stunning. And of course, the camaraderie of all riding around together in a group was bloody great. And of course, the racing was awesome. It was just, just a bike week, really. What else we do? We also made it Sound of Thunder. Now, Sound of Thunder, it's been around for 40 years. I don't know, 35, 40 years. No Japanese bikes. All European, American stuff. That's up at Christchurch. Went to that. Of course, one of the Britons was there. So we saw some demo laps from that, and then we also saw some demo laps from a Moto 2 bike. It was an insane Triumph that was just freaking mind-blowing to watch. Very loud. Yeah, it's bloody good. Somebody's talking in the chat there. Giving us a bit of cheek. Yeah, big comeback, all right, Q. 3 billion euros. That's 6 billion New Zealand dollars. Now, I was reading the other day that when KTM took over, or when Peer Group took over KTM, when it was just KTM originally, they were manufacturing about 1,000 bikes a year. And apparently last year they manufactured 50,000. Which is interesting because supposedly Ducati had the same year last year where they sold more bikes than they'd ever sold, and they reckon they'd sold 50,000 too. So big difference between what's happening in Ducati and KTM, I guess. Yes. Of course, Ducati people won't need tons of spares because, mine's still going, and I think I know I'm over at clock 90,000 at, when was that? When we went to the West Coast, went to Graham, I think I clocked 90,000. Still going strong. Touch wood. Yeah, Q, come on, mate. You need to come to the Burt. I know if you go to the Burt, you'll want to stay in the rally, which is fine. That's great. But hey, you know, it's a great event, and we'll have to make a video about it, mate. From the queue point of view. Yeah, and Mike, Guzzy Mike's just turned up. G'day, Mike. He's just bought another Guzzy. I'm waiting for him to get the new Stelvio, which looks awesome. Or when Guzzy puts out a true sports bike again, which they're kind of overdue to do. That'd be great. Anyway, sounded fun. That was awesome time. And then, of course, thanks to Stretch, we sort of had Morak as the base for quite a few trips, actually. Could have needed it. We could have used it when we did the infamous cheese run down to Belclufa. So, yeah. If you're planning to chase that perfect cheese, you maybe better double check the weather first. At least we know all the rain gear works, right? Stretch and I have the same rain gear, and fantastic. Anyway, I'll spare the full tale of the woe, but, you know, hey, every trip's a learning curve, right? The street races. Of course, I went to Italy first, and then made the pilgrimage to both Guzzi factory and Ducati factory. Very special times for me. It was a very, it was emotional to get to both factories. I really, really enjoyed it. Italy was a fantastic place. Yeah, I would have loved to ride while I was there, but had the old fam diddly with me. But yeah, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, so anyway, that's right, Q. I think that maybe too big, too fast. Old KTM. You know, there's only, you got to remember the whole worldwide and the Western world anyway is a shrinking market, motorcycles. And we've actually got more choices than we've had for since the 60s, probably, when there was plenty of British, when the crossover between British, European and Japanese stuff was probably the best time as far as options go. And, you know, any manufacturer outside of Asia is actually shrinking. So the pool is shrinking in the Western world. So we're actually quite spoiled. But yeah, you wouldn't want to overextend yourself, and probably looks like that's what KTM's done, you know. I've gambled big and gone big. Now, I'm not a big fan of KTM bikes. I don't like the headlight, looks like a praying mantis. Find a lot of them quite sort of nakedy looking. I'm not a big naked bike fan. But you know, they do make good bikes, no doubt about it. They could have handled the cheesy camshaft issue a lot better, and you know, people once they leave, it's hard to get them back. So I think they really dropped the ball there. Yeah, I see, Mike. I think Guzzi, I mean, they got a, well, who knows, you know, I see Guzzi's MV Augustus, if they're in trouble and closing, not say closing down, but throttling back. I know you've got, maybe Guzzi could make a proper sport bike again. I can't remember, but I can't remember who owns them. BMW owns them. So now they'll be, the problem is competing with other motorcycle brands inside their, you know, inside their conglomerate that owns them. But certainly would be good to see a sport bike, a true sport bike, come out from Motor Guzzi again. I was just watching this afternoon. I was watching on YouTube a great interview. There's a guy called Mike's Machines, a guy from Australia. He loves Italian bikes, and he's really a Guzzi guy. And talking about the, it was a video talking about the prototype 4-valve bikes that went to Australia. They were built by Magni, and they were the prototype bikes, same as what Dr. John had before they came out with the Daytona. And one was yellow and green, of course, the Australian colours. And I remember when that one came to New Zealand, competed, fantastic bikes. Anyway, that's quite interesting, and I thought, yeah, I'd love to see another, you know, Daytona, or like I've said before, the MGS01, which is a bike came out in 1997. If it came out, it was released tomorrow, they'd still sell them out the door. It was a hell of a bike. So let's see what happens with the old Guzzy. But yeah, I think slowly, Q. Just they need to really think about things before they drop to, you know, big money into stuff. Yeah, I think you're right. We're going to see more and more brands go down or get bought out by the Chinese. And of course, yeah, we're talking about riders and stuff. A lot of you know that New Zealand, and we all got the email or the thing from ACC the other day confirming that they're going to raise the price of motorcycle registration in New Zealand. 600 cc's and up are going to almost $1,000 a year. And it was only 3 or 4 months ago that we heard the news that they were asking for feedback and public consultation on the proposed new fee rego hike. And of course there was protests everywhere and everyone was kicking shins and screaming about it. I said at the time, waste of time, mate. It's just lip service, the old public consultation. The decision already been made, and sure enough, they haven't backed down from it at all. And now I'm not suggesting anybody break the law, but I suggest some people will probably consider risking the fine, which is only, a couple $100. What's your chance of getting caught once or twice a year with no rego? I don't know. I'm not suggesting you do that, but I imagine some people probably do it. Only the dodgiest one, of course. Yeah, Grizzo 1400. That would, yeah, you're right, Q. And the Grizzo with a big engine, it would be like a monster on steroids. It'd be unreal. I know. Yeah, after watching all your videos, Q, I really am quite sold on the Grizzos that generation, and I know when I see one now, I have a good look at it because of your videos. So, yeah, really enjoy that. What else we got? Oh, we're at the Greymouth Street Races, of course. Snowy coming down from North Island. Snowy, you know, we've heard the story before. Snowy's my old racing mate from back in the day. Back in the day, being late 80s, early 90s. He's ridden right through. Anyway, he came down. We wanted to show him some roads. The weather was looking pretty rough, so we bailed and took off across Arthur's Pass on the Friday before the weather hit on the Saturday. And of course, we got sunburnt on the way over. It was a brilliant ride, beautiful ride. Got for a beer at Brunner and Moana and all that. It was really nice. Saturday, sure enough, it rained and rained and rained and rained. And of course, the street racing wouldn't start till the Sunday, but we were already there, so that was all right. Unfortunately, all the passes were closed because of the weather, and even coming from Nelson down the Buller, slips had closed the road. So Sunday was pretty quiet affair as far as the live spectators go. We did wake up with damp. The roads were damp. Remember, it's a street circuit. The roads were a bit damp when we first got down to the track, down in the Greymouth CBD. But the old smart organisers, you know, they're not the organisers for nothing. They sent the carts out first. So the carts always do some demo races there for everybody. So they sent them out first to help dry out the track, which it did. And we stayed dry all day. It didn't rain for all race day. Watched some brilliant racing. And then when we went to come home on the Monday, we went back across Arthur's Pass. Boom, 2 feet of snow on the pass. Thankfully, it was all melting off because it was a nice sunny day. It wasn't even cold. And rode straight through the pass, all that high country, probably 45 minutes of riding through snow on the sides of the road and everything. Never got cold. Never got cold at all. It was that sort of day, you know, it was melting off fast. So anyway, that was pretty cool. So, you know, only New Zealand, sunburnt one day and then snow the next. And of course, between those big trips, we did uncover some hidden gems, or hidden gems for me. Stretch basically led the way and showed us some really cool roads, including one I fell in love with, and that's around Middlemarch and Hyde. So, and of course up the road up to Macrae's gold mine, off the pig route in the north, and then off Outram in the south. Big flowing corners, really good quality road. Seemed to die for. When we did it, the weather was a bit rough, but I'm going to go back down there. I'm going to do it again on a good day, record it all, and that'll be another video sometime. Who knows? After last night talking to Kim and Stretch, maybe we'll have to do it sometime in January. We'll see. Anyway, that become a real favourite for me. I really need to do that again. So, and no traffic, bugger all traffic, and no dairy tankers. So that's right up my alley. Anyway, so we've got big plans in 2025. Big plans to keep things going. Also going back down the Burt, I talked about that. And we are fully subscribed to that trip. Unfortunately, if you did think about you wanted to go, you do have to book a bit ahead in advance. You know, we have to book our accommodation, brilliant accommodation. We have to book that, kind of grab that a year out. So, and then probably 6 months out, people really need to commit to that to grab a bed. Anyway, every bed's occupied, so you'll just have to wait till 2026 if you want to come down with us. Don't forget, drop me a line, PM me or something, and I'll put your name on a bed for next time. We've got more southern roads to explore. I didn't do this last time, so we're making a list, checking it twice, and any new roads down there, I'll definitely be making a video about. I know, Q. We're talking about the bike registration again. It's not pretty unfair. Imagine if you got 3 or 4 bikes, and they're all over 600 cc's. That's $3,000 or $4,000 a year. You know, and you can only ride one bike at a time, so it's not like anyone's going to be abusing the system. Very poor, sort of something I'd expect out of central government. You know, maximum dollar uptake for the minimum effort, and fairness just doesn't even come into it, does it? Yeah, very disappointing. Anyway, what else happening next year? Awesome. Yeah, planning a proper summer road trip. Yep. Or as the millennials would call it, moto camping. Seems to be the big buzzword these days with adventure riding and lots of stuff. Moto camping. It's a fancy millennium term for a road trip. You know, we always used to use tents or sleep under the bike back in the days because we were too poor to couldn't afford a hotel room. So we're going all in, man. Tents, cooking gear, and we're gonna do some of those. Wow, Q knows. I talk about it every time, so Q knows where we're going. We're going up the northern end of the west coast and potting around there, starting with Karamea and going around the top of the south best as we can. So think Ghost Grizzo style vibes. Will just be us and hopefully bugger traffic on the road, no Wi-Fi. Well, maybe a little bit. So look forward to that. I'm going to take the drone on that one. It's a scenic as hell part of New Zealand, more scenic than most. So that's saying something in itself. But really looking forward to that. Got to get a new tent somehow. One I normally use has got a couple of broken poles, so they'll be no good. So shopping around, just getting some gear together. Of course, I still have a lot of camping type gear left over from the old hunting days. I still do that for a job, so I won't have to get too much stuff. But anyway, look out for that. That's going to be a good trip. After that, it's going to be in February, late February probably. So we'll do the Burt first, have a break for a few weeks probably, and then pick the good weather, and then blast up and do that. Straight after that will be the Sound of Thunder again, and I'm not sure yet whether there's going to be a Britain there or not. There was a Britain in the static display at the Southern Classic in November, which was really nice to see. But remember last year in the Sound of Thunder, we got demo laps. So interesting to see what happens this year. Probably be out there again because Britain has got a very strong connection to Bears Racing in Christchurch. Okay, so we'll see what happens here. Anyway, plenty of stuff going on, and I still have to, and I'm going to do it. Q. We'll get all the regular crew together, and Q, if you're up for it, we're going to come up and see you, and you can take us around. Either you come down here, and I'll show you some local roads here. We can do it in one day, no problem. Or else we'll come up there, and maybe you can show us some of your local roads. Then you get to meet everybody face to face. You'll meet Stretch. You'll meet probably Guzzy Mike and Kim and all those guys. Young Nigel, who pretty shy, he doesn't talk much on here, but he does up here. It'd be good to ride with you, mate. Yeah, there's something that need to tick that box. Yeah, the moto camping. Oh, Q, you're the master, mate. Master of that. Can you write in the comments, Q, what tent you use? I'm leaning towards a 2-man. I don't like to be too squished up. If I don't have to carry it on my back. I spent my whole life with a pack on my back. You know, I was in the infantry for 10 years. Hunting guide for 25. So I don't want anything on my back. So I figure I've got the bike carrying and I might as well get... Why bother squeezing myself into a little 1-manner? So I think I'm leaning towards a 1.5 person or a 2-man tent. Just so I got plenty of room because I can, right, on the bike. Dropped the coin the other day on another Krieger pack. I've got the 20-litre Krieger, the US Universal Krieger, the 20. Well, I dropped the big coin on a 40-litre. It's the biggest one they do that goes on top. So it'll fit any tent that I'd ever need to put on it. And so with that and my top box, I think I can fit everything in front of the top box. So you got 60 litres there plus the top box. So I think I'm good. But anyway, that's what I'm thinking. The drone, yep. Q, I would, knowing your videos, you would definitely use the drone a lot. But there's a big learning curve, eh? I got the Mini 4 Pro, which has got 360 sensors. You can still crash them. Touch wood, I haven't yet, but I've had some close calls. And you got to be careful. There's a lot of places you can't actually use them in New Zealand. But yeah, I just maybe have a play with mine when I see you next and that, and you can have a go. But yeah, could be really good. I wouldn't mess with the little one that follows you around. You need one that can get up a bit higher and a bit more. Need one with the controls, really. But we can talk about that later on. White's Explorer 2 ultralight hiking tent. And do you recommend that, Q? What do you think about that tent? I think I saw it, White's. There must be an outdoor group in New Zealand. I was looking the other day. There's another one I'm looking at, which is by... shit. Can't remember. I just looked at it before. But anyway. Yeah, mate. Well, maybe you come down, Q. You pick up Stretch on the way. Stretch is at Orford Forest. So pick him up on the way down, and we'll do some of the local back roads here, which you have played around on, but I don't think you've seen all of them yet. We've got our favourite loop that we like to do, which is the best tent out of those two, Q. The Torpedo Mamaku or the White's Explorer. Probably all made in the same factory. Anyway. Oh, okay, so if you've seen the Mini 4, that's a good one. They're just coming out. They're about to release for Christmas the Mini 5 Pro, but the Mini 4 is all you'll need, and it'll probably be a lot cheaper than the new ones. But up to you, really. Definitely get the controller and get the Flymore kit. Get 3 batteries. Get spare propellers. You get a good bag. Drop the extra money. Get the Flymore kit. It's only another $200. So Don't get the and don't get the Neo. It's too small and won't do what you want it to do. But anyway. What else happening? Stretch, you've been pretty quiet there. Mike, you still here? Mike's gone. Looks like it's just Stretch and Q. Oh, big apologies from Steve. So Steve in Melbourne, everybody knows Steve. He's got a work due tonight, so he gives his apologies. But yeah, he's been here pretty much from the beginning, you know. White's his Lido, that's good. Anyway, we're getting closer to 500 subscribers. That was a milestone I really wanted to make this year. Not quite there yet, but I'm sure we'll get there early in 2025. I'd like to thank everybody, each and every one of you, man, for being part of the community. Whether you've been here since the beginning or you just joined the Dusty Visor crew, whatever stage, you know, maybe we're not as polished as some of those other fancy channels, but we are real. What else? We are real, and I'm just trying to. Oh, that was me up this thing. There you go. That was the Southern Classic. That young fella on that bike's my nephew, the swinger. Anyway, we might not be as polished as some of the other channels, but at least you know you'll see me on the road somewhere, right? Yeah. Anyway, so what are we up to? Not much. Might be a quiet one today. Not so many people. It is sure as a road to travel for growth. That's for sure, Q, right? That's dead right. But anyway, big shout out to our founding member, Steve S., all the way over in the ditch in Melbourne. Okay, he's not here tonight, as I mentioned. He's because of other commitments. But he's been supporting the channel pretty much from the start. He also had a early Ducati Multistrada. I think that's what caught his attention. So this week I've been working on a small project dear to his heart, which will go live here in on a few days on the 23rd of December. So keep one out for that one. It's kind of a special thing, anyway, for him. Yeah, good on your Stretch. There's only 2 of yous left, so Mike must have gone. Whoever else was on is gone. So anyway, what do you guys reckon? Q, what have you got big plans for 2025? What do you got plan on the books for 2025? Anything interesting? Love to hear what you got any big trips you want ticked off. I'm debating about, I really want to go to a GP, and I'm one of the boys that we ride with, Nige. He's a surfer as well, and so he goes to Bali every year. Well, he bought his tickets. He's doing the GP at Lombok this year in October. And yeah, I think I'd love to go. We'll see. Although tickets are only $1,100 return, which is pretty good. No, on my luck, by the time I decide that I'm going, they'll be double that. Anyway, where's the Christmas party tomorrow night, Stretch? Whose is that? Is that the Fire Brigade? We had a good one last night, didn't we? I really enjoyed that, Stretch. Yeah, it was very good. Had all the good roosters there. Anyway, what's happening now? I can't read all the... Oh, let's see if I can pull that down. So you're going to the Wonder Rally at Oxford, Woodstock, and the Vincent one. That's cool, man. Cool. That's good, Q. Yeah, it's always good to have plan for what's coming up. I'm not sure when I'm going to ride the North Island. I sort of feel a little bit obliged now to whip up and see Snowy and do some of the North Island roads again. Of course, we did all those. I'm originally from the North Island because we hammered all those roads back in the day. But I'm sure a lot of them have changed now. Not so sure about all the traffic up there. That's the only thing that puts me off a bit going up there. Oh, you got some compression problems there, Q? Compression on the Guzzy. How many Ks have you done? Well, you got plenty of... I remember seeing plenty of videos not so long ago that you did a few... Are you going to go back at the Cold Kiwi, Q? I never did a Cold Kiwi, but because I was in the army at the time, but when it was at the army thing, I knew that all that area very well, of course, but I never was inspired to go back there. I didn't have to, if you know what I mean. I know they have it somewhere else now, but they used to have it, I think it was it's called Shepherd's Bush, a 12-mile bush or something. It's been a long time. So yeah, if you're thinking about how you can switch up your content, Q, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you got a good formula going there. I love your narrations and all that. I'm thinking about doing the same in that I'm thinking about maybe not talking so much on the ride and then doing it when I get home, like you do. Yeah, I don't know. Left cylinder is around 70 to 80 psi. Maybe that's 70 to 80 psi. Yeah, 70 to 80 psi is not so good, is it, Q? Didn't I? Tell me if I'm wrong, but didn't I read somewhere that Guzzies, it's common for Guzzies to wear at one side, one cylinder before the other, for some reason? Is it to do with the torque? I'm not sure. What's the solution there? Can't really do one without the other, so oversized pistons. Put some new pistons in. And stretch. So stretch is on the V-Strom, Q, but he's well ready for something more of size. If you ever bumped into Stretch, you know why we call him Stretch. He's quite cool. And so, not sure, but he's either a GS 1250 or something, or a Super Tenere, or Africa Twin or something like that. Anyway, he feel like he needs a full size bike. He's sort of tucked up on his 650 V-Strom, which does him alright actually, but yeah, he's looking for another bike. Yeah, the Lotto. Do the Europe trip and we'll ride them back or something like that. Be awesome. No, it's not. So Michael's back on. Why is it Michael? Guzzy Mike. So you, as you know, Guzzy Mike's a hardcore Guzzy guy too. What's your theory if it's done pretty reasonably high K bike and the is that difference in the cylinders there? What are you thinking, Mike? Oh, you got all the gear. Yeah, Q. What sort of mic you after? I know the later. You can get the Bluetooth DJI mic, and I think if you've got a later model GoPro, you can link it to the GoPro through Bluetooth connection. So you're wireless. Mine's hardwired in, and I've got that little square mic adapter thing underneath. It's a bit of a pain. But Bluetooth will you use more battery quicker though. That's nobody's talking about that, but I worked that out. I thought it's going to eat the battery life. What year's the Grizzo is what's Mike saying. Flat tappets or roller tappets. No, the GoPro 9 won't do Bluetooth. Sorry. I'm going to switch anyway. When I upgrade my cameras, I'm going to the Insta Pro Ace 2. It's by far the best of them. Every single review I've seen. So I'm sick of the GoPro problems. You know, you record everything and then find there's no sound, or you record everything and you find it freezes. Ugh, I'm sick of it. I've had it with GoPro. Yeah, the GoPro 9, well, if I upgrade mine, you get an adapter, little rectangular thing, and you can just plug your mic into it. Got the little one like you used to plug into your phone, headphones, the small one. And then it USB plugs into the USB, it's got a cable that plugs into the USB on the side of your GoPro. That's your audio adapter, I think it's called. There you go, Mike. 2006 Grizzo. Sure what's going on there. The 9. I have so much less issues. Saying the bigger battery. Yeah, I mean, I've got the 10. Works alright. Been okay. This black 7 black, which is supposed to be the best of the bunch, I've still had a few issues with that. It freezes 3 or 4 times a year. But no, I don't know. Everyone says that the GoPro 7 black was the best of the bunch, but I don't know. But then I'm always recording in 4K and 30 or 60 FPS, I think. Maybe it's a bit much for the card they've got in it. But I've gone to the bigger card, keeps more space and faster, so I don't have to mess with changing the card. And the 10 lasts a couple of days. All we're going to do is worry about battery life, you know. All right, guys. Well, anything else to talk about? Give you a minute or two. Have my beer. I do see that Ducati won their maiden season of the Italian motocross with their Ducati motocross bike. All the naysayers that said it would be no good, there you go. They won their maiden season. So look out for them, and I bet you all they're doing is just getting everything sorted out, getting all the ducks in a row. Usually there's a testing a testing zone for going into doing the world. So we'll see what happens with Ducati motocross next year, whether how they go in the World Championships. Yeah, I said it's a bit wet. I think tomorrow's. Oh, I thought tomorrow's going to be more of the same, but I think I'm riding this weekend. Yeah. Due for an oil change, and my old mate Peter from Westport, he gave me a starter motor, so I bung that starter motor in. I've just got to get motivated to do it. But yeah, a little ride before Christmas would be nice. All right, team. Maybe we'll wind it up there. Thanks for coming in, Appreciate everybody. Like I said, appreciate everybody supports the channel. And I don't know, we've done these live streams. It's been just over a year now of live streams. Let me know in the comments if you think we should keep going. It's good to catch up with everybody. We don't seem to be attracting too many extra more viewers, but I like the social aspect of it anyway. Sit there and talking stuff. Next year, I'll definitely. I've got it set up. I can have guests and that, so we can have 2 screens, and you'll see 2 screens on the screen. You'll see me here, for example, and then someone else here, and you'll hear us talking. And I'd like to get Steve on so he can talk to us about the Aussie scene. Yeah, I'd like to get him as a first guest. Or mate Yoss, that's over and living in Spain. Spent part of the 90s in London as a motorcycle courier, so he's got some really cool stories too. Yeah. Well, exactly, Q. You too. Have a great Christmas, everybody. Stay safe, Enjoy the Christmas, enjoy the family. Keep your throttle open. And here's the 2025. It's gonna be another really good year. I'm really looking forward to it. So stay safe out there. I'll catch you on the road sometime. Q, we've got to ride together. That's going to be my New Year's resolution. Do a ride with Q. All right, everybody. Stay safe, mate. Catch you in the next one. I'm not sure we're going to do one in January or not. See how things are going. But watch out on the channel. I'll let you know if we're going to do one in January. All right, team. Have a good night. Merry Christmas, everybody. Catch you in the new year.